All right, so for that would help any kind of businesses, bring in new employees, right? Get those interviews scheduled, answer any questions about the position, and give you the best opportunity to bring in the best possible employees for your business without really having to get involved in that initial process. So prospect is going to enter the system via Indeed or any other similar service that you're using to get leads for potential employees. That prospect, once it enters the system, is tagged for organizational purposes as usual. That initial outreach goes out, and we're going to wait for a reply. In this case, their follow-up process is robust, but not quite as robust as some of the other flows that we've done. A lot of the time, especially for business recruiting, getting new employees, anyone that's coming through the system is going to be highly motivated. It really doesn't take more than one text message to get a response. Usually we find we're getting responses within minutes of the first text message. However, we do still have a follow-up process in place just for the stragglers really, but it's not quite as robust as some of the other ones. So initial outreach goes out, wait for that reply. If they don't respond, it's going to send another second message. If they don't respond after that, that point, you should really just start an email drip, and that might last a month. You're really just going to be sending them, company information and links to schedule an interview in the hopes that they do just schedule an interview on their own. There's not really a long-term follow-up sequence. Generally, when people are looking for a new job, it's not going on for months and months and months at a time, let alone years. Usually, people get a job and they're not looking anymore, within a month or two of when they first start this process. So, like I said, not a super robust follow-up sequence, although it does exist. It will cycle them through that for like about a month before they will just get put into a bucket or tagged accordingly, and you can decide what to do with those leads, whether run them through the system again or, maybe wait and we'll use them later on down the road. So at any point in time, if anyone responds to whether either SMSs or emails or they schedule a link, if they respond, I should say, if they respond to SMS or an email, it will activate the AI with the goal of just setting a time for an interview, whether that's in person or virtual interview. That is its primary goal. If there's any kind of qualification for the prospect, it can ask those questions, of course. It will have all the appropriate information as far as where's the interview take place, what days, times, anything they might need to bring along, and they're going to get an email as well once that interview is booked. So regardless of whether the AI does it or they schedule it directly through that email, it's going to go ahead and send them an it'll send them another email. If they book it through the email, it'll send them another one. If they book it through the AI, it'll just send an email to the email that it's collected. But it's going to have them, all the necessary information for the interview, what they need to wear, where they need to be, what time they need to be there, and anything they need to have with them, to make sure that the interview goes smoothly for them. So any unqualified prospects in this case, they're just removed from the system. There's not really anything to do with anyone that you don't want working with you. So it kind of just stops if they're unqualified. They just get removed from the system and you don't have to worry about them anymore. But really, the goal here is just to get more employees, potential employees, I should say, in the door of your business, without you having to spend a ton of time on recruiting and responding to all these basic questions. And AI is, perfectly poised to do that.